I smoothed down my custom-designed blazer as I walked into Bellamy's, the luxury department store that had been my family's retail paradise for 3 generations. The same store that had rejected my fashion line 6 months ago, on my mother's recommendation. Miss Emily, the doorman nodded, knowing exactly who owned the store now but keeping our carefully maintained secret. Morning, Thomas. Are they all here? Yes, ma'am. Your entire family's upstairs in the VIP lounge for the annual card member appreciation event. I smiled, thinking about the surprise waiting for them. For years, they dismissed my fashion ambitions as playing dress-up. They had no idea that while they were mocking my designs, I'd been building a fashion empire under my professional name, acquiring luxury brands through my holding company Elite Ventures, including their beloved Bellamy's. Still working on your little sketches, Emily? My sister Victoria's voice carried across the marble floor as she descended the grand staircase. I heard you were meeting with some boutique owners today. Finally ready to admit you need real guidance. If she only knew I owned the store she was standing in, along with half the luxury retail chains in the country. Something like that, Vic, I replied, checking my watch. 10 a.m. In exactly 30 minutes, their exclusive VIP shopping event would begin. With me. Well, Mother's very busy today, she continued, adjusting her Bellamy's signature scarf. Important meeting with the new ownership team. The kind of business you could have been involved in if you'd stayed with the family's investment firm. Yes, my brief stint at the family firm. 3 months of being relegated to fashion trend research, while watching less qualified male cousins get promoted to investment positions. 3 months of hearing, but she's just interested in clothes, whispered behind my back. My phone buzzed, a message from my chief brand officer. All set. New brand direction approved. Previous family discount cards deactivated. I should head up, Victoria said, pressing the elevator button. Mother needs these spring collection reports reviewed before meeting the new owners. The owner, I corrected quietly. What? Nothing. I think I'll join you. I have some business in the VIP lounge myself. She looked at me with that particular mix of pity and condescension she'd perfected since I left the family firm. Emily, please don't tell me you're trying to pitch your little fashion line to Bellamy's again. The elevator rode up in silence, Victoria pointedly checking her social media while I reviewed acquisition documents on my phone. 3 years of watching them underestimate me had taught me patience. The VIP lounge doors were open, family members filling the space with designer outfits and inflated egos. My mother stood at the center, commanding attention as always. Ladies, she was saying, this exclusive preview is crucial. Bellamy's has been our family's shopping destination since its founding. Our presence here speaks to our social standing. And your presence here speaks to your inability to read fashion trends, I said, walking into the room. The conversation stopped. 20 heads turned toward me, expressions ranging from confusion to dismissal. Emily, my mother's voice carried that special tone of disappointment she reserved for me. We're in the middle of an important event. Whatever designs you're trying to show can wait. I placed my portfolio on the table, enjoying the moment. Actually, Mom, I'm right on time. Shall we discuss your VIP membership status? Emily, my mother sighed, if this is about your rejected collection. Actually, I cut in, opening my portfolio, this is about Bellamy's new direction. As the owner, I thought I should deliver the news personally. The room fell silent. Victoria's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. Owner. My mother's perfectly maintained composure cracked slightly. What are you talking about? I pulled out the acquisition papers, sliding them across the marble table. Elite Ventures acquired Bellamy's 3 months ago. I'm sure you've heard of us. We own half the luxury retail market in North America. Elite Ventures? Victoria stammered. But that's Elena Brighton's company. Elena Brighton is my professional name, I replied, enjoying their shocked expressions. The one I started using after you all told me no one would take a fashion line seriously, from little Emily Richardson. My mother grabbed the papers, her hands trembling slightly as she read. This can't be real. You can't possibly have the business acumen to run a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire? I finished for her. Funny how much you can accomplish when you're not being undermined by your own family. Aunt Margaret, always quick to spot a social advantage, stepped forward. Darling, we always knew you had potential. Save it, I cut her off. I have the boardroom recordings from when you voted against my collection. She needs to stick to shopping, not designing, I believe were your exact words. My phone buzzed. Messages from my executive team. CFO, new brand strategy announcement ready. Marketing director, press release prepared for tomorrow. Head of operations, VIP membership system updated. Now, I continued, about those VIP cards you're all so proud of. As of today, they're inactive. The collective gasp was almost comical. These cards weren't just about shopping. They were status symbols, proof of belonging to Bellamy's elite inner circle. You can't do that, my sister protested. We're founding family members. Correction, you were preferred customers of the old Bellamy's. The new Bellamy's, I smiled, has different standards. I walked to the window overlooking the main floor, where workers were already changing displays. For example, our spring collection will feature an exciting new designer. Someone the previous management unfortunately overlooked. The horror dawned on their faces as they recognized my designs being installed in the premier window displays. The same collection you rejected 6 months ago, I confirmed. The one Mom said would destroy Bellamy's reputation. Well, guess what? The buyers from Paris, Milan, and New York disagree. They've already placed orders worth more than this store's annual revenue. Victoria rushed to the window, pressing her hands against the glass as she watched my collection being unveiled below. The same designs she'd called amateur and embarrassingly basic were now taking center stage in the store's most prestigious display spaces. This is a joke, my mother declared, though her voice wavered. Where did you get the money to? To buy Bellamy's? I interrupted, pulling up more documents on my tablet. The same way I bought Lux Fashion Group last year and Metropolitan Styles the year before that. While you were all mocking my little sketches, I was building a fashion empire worth billions. My phone buzzed with industry alerts. Breaking. Elite Ventures acquires Bellamy's. Fashion mogul Elena Brighton reveals true identity. Industry shocked as Emily Richardson named new Bellamy's CEO. But your designs. Aunt Catherine sputtered. They were rejected by every major retailer. No, I corrected her. They were rejected by Bellamy's, because Mom made sure of it. Every other luxury retailer jumped at the chance to carry them. In fact, I pulled up the sales figures. My debut collection outsold Bellamy's entire designer section last quarter. The room erupted in chaos as my relatives grabbed their phones, frantically Googling Elena Brighton and discovering the truth. 3 years of carefully maintained secrecy unraveled in minutes. The Paris Fashion Week show last fall. Victoria whispered, when everyone was wondering who Elena Brighton was. That was me, I confirmed. Front row seats were reserved for family, but you all declined. Too busy attending the Bellamy's seasonal preview, as I recall. My mother sank into a chair, her perfectly maintained facade crumbling. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you. I laughed. Like when I tried to tell you about my business plan. Or when I showed you my market research. Or maybe when I presented my collection and you said, and I quote, "Stick to shopping, dear. Leave designing to the professionals." The store's PA system crackled to life. Attention Bellamy's shoppers, please join us for an exciting announcement about our new direction under Elite Ventures ownership. That's my cue, I said, gathering my papers. We're announcing the store's rebranding. The new Bellamy's will feature upcoming designers, talented people who might have been overlooked by the old guard. You can't just change everything, my mother protested. This store has tradition. Had tradition, I corrected. Traditions like rejecting designers based on family politics rather than talent. Traditions like maintaining an exclusive club of VIP members who look down on everyone else. Those traditions end today. The marketing team arrived carrying the new brand materials. The logo I'd designed, the one my family had mocked as amateurish, was now being installed above the entrance. Your VIP memberships, I continued, pulling out another document, will be reinstated on one condition. You each spend a month working in the store. Sales floor, fitting rooms, inventory, just like I did when you all said I needed to learn the business from the ground up. The horror on their faces was priceless. These women who'd never worked a retail day in their lives, who looked down on store employees while demanding special treatment, were speechless. "You can't be serious," Victoria gasped. "Me working the sales floor? Why not? It's what you told me to do, remember? Learn how real fashion retail works, you said. Well, now's your chance." My phone lit up with more messages. WWD. Exclusive. Inside Elite Ventures Revolutionary Takeover. Vogue. Fashion's New Queen. The Emily Richardson Story. Business Insider. How a rejected designer built a billion-dollar empire. The press conference starts in an hour, my assistant reminded me. And the new designer showcase needs your final approval. New designers? My mother's voice was faint. You're bringing in more unknown talents? Absolutely. Bellamy's will now feature an incubator program for emerging designers. The kind of program I wished existed when I was starting out. I turned to face them all. The kind of support family should have provided. The elevator dinged and my executive team stepped out, all wearing pieces from my latest collection. The same designs my family had ridiculed were now proudly worn by some of fashion's most powerful players. Ms. Richardson, my CFO approached with more papers. The financial projections for the new designer program are ready. And Paris called. They want to double their order for next season. Victoria grabbed her phone, frantically scrolling through fashion news. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Elena Brighton, you're the one who bought out Maison Laurent? And Crystal Heights? Those were our favorite brands." "Yes," I smiled. "Interesting how none of you noticed the changes in design direction over the past year. Too busy criticizing my work to realize you were actually wearing it." I walked to the window watching the new signage being installed. Below, a crowd was gathering, press, fashion bloggers and curious shoppers, all eager to see Bellamy's transformation. "You have 24 hours to decide," I announced to my stunned family. "Either accept the new terms of your membership, including the work requirement, or find somewhere else to shop. Though," I added with a slight smile, "you might have trouble with that considering Elite Ventures owns most of your favorite stores." The press conference room was packed. Fashion journalists, industry insiders and social media influencers filled every seat, their cameras trained on the empty podium where I would soon reveal the truth about Elena Brighton and the future of Bellamy's. My family had been escorted to the front row, a calculated decision. They would watch, along with the rest of the fashion world, as I unveiled my complete vision for the empire they dismissed as a little hobby. "5 minutes, Ms. Richardson," my PR director whispered. Through the curtain I could see Victoria frantically texting, probably trying to salvage her fashion influencer status. My mother sat rigid, her Bellamy's signature scarf, one I'd actually designed under my Elena Brighton pseudonym, clutched tightly in her manicured hands. The large screens behind the podium began playing a video, my journey from rejected designer to fashion mogul, carefully documented over the past 3 years. There were clips of my first small studio, the initial collection launches, the gradual acquisitions of bigger brands. And throughout it all, screenshots of my family's dismissive social media posts about my work. "And now," the announcer's voice filled the room, "please welcome the CEO of Elite Ventures and the new owner of Bellamy's, Emily Richardson, also known as Elena Brighton." The gasps from the audience were audible as I walked onto the stage wearing my signature design, the same blazer my mother had called unwearable a year ago. "Thank you all for coming," I began, my voice steady. "Today marks not just a new chapter for Bellamy's, but a revolution in how we nurture fashion talent." I clicked to the first slide, the store's new design incubator program. Every season we'll select 10 emerging designers who might have been overlooked by traditional fashion gatekeepers. They'll receive funding, mentorship and prime retail space in all Elite Ventures stores. The audience burst into applause. My mother's face grew paler with each announcement. "Additionally," I continued, "we're implementing a new corporate culture. Every executive, including family members," I paused, looking directly at my relatives, "will spend time working alongside our retail staff. Because true innovation in fashion comes from understanding every aspect of the business." Victoria slumped in her seat as photographers captured her reaction. Tomorrow's fashion blogs would have a field day with this. But perhaps the most significant change, I smiled, clicking to the next slide, is our new flagship collection, The screens filled with my designs, the entire rejected collection that had started this journey. But now they were being worn by celebrities, featured in major magazines and selling out in stores across the globe. These designs were once rejected by Bellamy's former management, I said, watching my mother flinch. They said they weren't sophisticated enough, weren't luxurious enough. The market disagreed. This collection has generated more revenue in 3 months than Bellamy's made in the past year. My phone buzzed with new alerts. Fashion industry stunned by Emily Richardson revelation. Elite Ventures stock soars after Bellamy's announcement. From rejected designer to fashion empire. The Emily Richardson story. I moved to the final part of my presentation. And now, I'd like to address the VIP membership program. My family visibly tensed. The old system of exclusivity based on family names and social connections is over. Our new VIP program will be based on supporting emerging designers, mentoring new talent, and actually contributing to the fashion industry's growth. The audience erupted in applause again. Several major fashion editors were nodding approvingly. Those who previously held VIP status, I continued, looking directly at my family, have a choice. Adapt to our new vision of fashion retail or find another store. Though, I added with a slight smile, they might want to check who owns their alternatives first.